Hello and welcome to A Shifted Lands Guide 103. Today we will finally be diving into the playable races at Shifted Lands. This is probably the coolest and most fun part of creating a character, as racial skills and costuming play a big part of your character's identity, and many people love to center their roleplay around their race and racial abilities. Shifted Lands is a LARP that traditionally identifies someone's race with extensively different makeup. Very few races have the ability to wear masks to identify themselves as a certain race, so most often you will find the vast majority of players use makeup to identify themselves as a given race within the LARP. Makeup and Shifted Lands go hand in hand, so please do your research in regards to colored makeup brands and makeup applications for what works best for your body and personal skin type. I personally have previously used the Paradise brand, and it's a good starting point for research. Each race has different makeup and costuming requirements, and I will cover each of those while looking at any given race. From here on, this video will be relatively unscripted and filled with plenty of personal opinions. My stated goal is to really get across how I've personally seen most of these races played in-game, and to distinguish what you might think about the races while reading the rulebook versus how they're typically portrayed in-game. Often, this isn't much of an issue as this is a high fantasy setting with plenty of common themes. However, Shifted Lands has a few unique subtleties to each of the race's cultures. Here goes. Alright, so diving right into the unscripted section, we're going to talk about Beastman. Beastmen are half animal, half human, or half humanoid, and essentially you can pick almost any mammalian type of animal. Um, some birds are okay. You'd have a tough time justifying fish. Uh, a lot of the common beastmen that I see played are fox beastmen. I've met turtle beastmen, which are really cool, and the individual makeup requirements for each of those individual races is kind of different. If you're picking a very common, so like wolf beastman, right, uh, or fox beastman, there's already established makeup patterns, and you might want to reach out to individuals in the game to see what those kind of makeup requirements are, or what the expectation is. But if you are like really out of left field with beastmen in terms of costuming, like turtle beastman, they had to wear a huge shell and they wore green. They didn't have to wear any like snapping turtle like mouthpieces or anything like that. But um, in terms of unique costuming, Beastman is like the highest on the list, man. If you want to be the most unique looking thing, Beastman is a really good pick. They are really cool and they have a really solid skill set. Um, their history, a lot of the Beastmen tend to live in packs or groups of similar Beastmen, and a lot of them in game like to hang out with each other. The biggest I think in town is Fox Beastman for sure. So that's the kind of the costuming and history. Costuming is really like down to individual races. Please check your costume with plot to ensure that you're not duplicating the costume of a monster or another race. That is super important. If somebody thinks you're a wolf versus a wolf beastman, there needs to be a distinct difference, and there's makeup requirements and different stuff for like what a wolf is versus a wolf beastman, right? So you don't want to walk in looking like a wolf and have people attack you. That would suck. But let's get right into the racial abilities. Uh, Starting out, they have athletics. Athletics is extra body or HP. We're going to see this a lot through a couple of the races, and they can purchase this 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20, so they'll have 20 extra body if they bought it as many times as they can. And it's literally just build for body. That's all this skill is, which is can be very good a lot of the times. Claws. There is going to be a lot of races with claws, and claws are really, really good. There's even a spell that is grant claws, I think. It might be in spirit or it might be in sorcery. Not sure. I'm not much of a spellcaster, but claws are super good, and they're essentially undisarmable weapons, which is super good, especially for somebody who's new. Getting an undisarmable way to attack your opponent is, or attack monsters, is very good because a disarm will shorten your lifespan really quick if you don't have a way to deal with it. Um, enhanced strength. Enhanced strength is a it's an okay skill. It's really good in some situations if you have a lot of it. Obviously, being very strong is very good. Here, it's kind of okay. You get two, and the thing about enhanced strength is, uh, every two that you get applies a +1 to your damage on any of your swings. So if you think about it, enhanced strength 1 is like you have 0.5 extra damage in each hand, and enhanced strength 2 is a flat +1 in each hand. So, but if you two-handed a weapon, you would get 2 plus 2 because you'd get one from each hand. It's an interesting understanding and it's an interesting way to represent strength within a game. Having 2 is okay. It's better. It's a lot better than having 0. That's for sure. Um, and strength does more than just add damage. It allows you to sometimes resist things like spider webs or physical entangles or pins, depending on how much strength you have. It allows you to say resist when you get hit by certain things, which is pretty good. So then we have resist disease and resist poison. These are really good when I would say resist poison is a lot better than resist disease here. You'll see that the max quantity for each of these is both 10, which is a lot. I would recommend personally picking up only like 3 or 4 of each of these. However, resist poison is a lot better than resist disease. I don't personally see disease come up a whole lot in game. Uh, Things such as lycanthropy and disease attacks are very real. They're usually related to plot, and a lot of the time disease isn't just like a generic disease. It's like this disease is a specific disease that plot has made up for this event. And in this event, getting hit by this disease really sucks. So that's when resist disease is really good. Against generic disease attacks, it's okay. Um, you're not going to really run into a whole lot of those. Poison, on the other hand, holy crap, man. Poison can be scary. There's in some of the alchemy stuff, you can like throw AoE poisons, and that's really good. And having just generic resist poison defenses is very good, like super good. Sense poison is okay. There's lots of roleplay opportunities with this in terms of like detecting poison to make sure that you're not getting poisoned while you drink or anything like that. This skill will not allow the character to discern alchemy. You need to be an alchemist to understand that there's what's going on more than just that if there's poison in something. Um, I haven't seen a whole lot of use in this in game personally, but it's also a really cool skill just to have. And it really fits a lot of they're really trying to catch generic mammal here, right? Like with all these skills like claws, strength, resist disease, and resist poison. You're sniffing, you're smelling, sense poison. And speak with mammals. Oh man, this skill is so cool. This skill is awesome. Uh, any mammalian animals as otherwise non-speaking beings. You see a lot of like generic wolf, generic squirrel, generic bear. Dolphins is a really extreme example. I don't think I've personally ran into a dolphin. Um, Birds, lizards, and insects are not mammals. That is very. There's a big debate on what counts as works with speak with mammals, and now there's additional skills like speak with X now. Um, but there's a lot of times where a squirrel or a wolf will walk into town and they might be attacking something, and you can really just kind of diffuse the situation with speak with mammals. You can be like, "Hey wolf, do you want food?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm pretty hungry, man. I'm just attacking for food." And they'll be like, "Cool, let's get this guy some food." And then the wolf will leave, and you don't have to like do it. It's a really great role play situation to be in. I've seen it more than once, and it's really fun when it comes up and you have the skill. It's really awesome. Um, no, it doesn't force them to speak, nor does it grant them intelligence. So if you really pissed off a wolf man, that's like it can speak with mammals doesn't mean that you're gonna have a friendly conversation. It means you're just gonna have a conversation. And then we'll get into elder racials. So preface here. Elder racials are very different from regular racials, and I'm not going to cover elder racials for a lot of stuff. So I will go into like what the general idea of certain elder racers is. So if you're a fox beastman and you have the same generic skills as a wolf beastman, that would feel kind of weird. You wouldn't really feel very unique, right? So in the Elder section, which is like a whole different topic that needs to be covered, don't worry about it for right now. But they have a unique bestial traits, Elder. Um, and basically, this means that you get a unique skill, which is like super cool because getting unique skills is very difficult a lot of the time. So if you really like come up with like I want to play a platypus beastman or something, right? Like plot's gonna have to give you this like platypus ability, and you don't get to really decide what it is. But the fastest way to get like a unique skill in this game is honestly playing a unique Beastman. If you get Fox, you might end up with like generic Fox that like all the other foxes have or something. I think, and it's not guaranteed that it's the same every time. Like I know for sure that certain Beastmen in town have different elder beastmen, like elder, like if they're all foxes, I know that they have different fox traits for this bestial traits, and it's a lot dependent on, like here is a defensive turtle gains like threshold, where an offensive snapping turtle might be able to sever limbs, right? Um, so like the difference, they pay attention to the unique difference that you have in your character. And that's kind of really why beastmen are cool, because when you see like a turtle beastman, you're like, oh, that guy's got a shell, he's defensive, right? Beastmen are the quickest way to really embody a archetype. And I think that Beastmen that I've met are really cool. And I really haven't met a Beastman player that wasn't happy about being a Beastman. Like these are really cool races to play. And we'll call that there for Beastmen.